Anyway, sorry about that, guys. I got cut off there. Here's the sign for the lake. But anyways, I was just saying, I'm gonna start bringing you some of these different interesting cases out here. There's a lot of different interesting stuff going on. A lot of things that I think would make some good videos. But yeah, just tell me what you think. I don't know. I think that case is really weird. How could that guy have pulled all that off? I think there was another shooter, and you know, they just closed the case a little early and said, well, we're just going to go with the murder-suicide because we don't have any other leads, and we're going to go with that one. We got to close the case closed, on to the next one. Okay, we don't want to have a bad, you know, that's how a lot of these departments, they don't want to have a bad record with their higher ups or with the city and the county. You know, they keep track of how many homicides these teams solve. You don't want to have a high number of unsolved cases, you know. So maybe sometimes they rush to solve them so they can have that 80% solved number. Who knows? Or maybe it was just a very bizarre crime, and that's how it actually ended up. I don't know. But tell me what you think, guys, and I'm going to start trying to make more videos and come up with some different interesting cases that we can watch and talk about. All right, guys, take care. Hey guys, Nitro here. I'm coming to you today from a lake up off the 15 freeway. Okay, I'd been doing my videos on the toolbox murders, but for now I kind of ran out of information on there. There's nothing really new going on with that case. I'm thinking of maybe getting a metal detector and going up there and doing some metal detecting in the area, see if we can come up with anything that way. But for now, I thought I would start touching on some of these other cases, because there's a lot of good mysterious cold cases, a lot of mysterious homicide cases, and this is one that I had heard about a long time ago, and I had wanted to include it. I just thought it was really interesting. I think you guys would think it's pretty interesting too. I'm going to read this article to you guys real quick. This is from March 1st, 1986. The shotgun slayings of 3 campers whose bodies were found last weekend at a remote lake in the San Bernardino Mountains have been a murder-suicide, authorities said Friday. They have not determined a motive. Now later on in the article they say they suspect it was a murder-suicide. It sounds fishy to me though. The bodies of Craig Mabry, 26, and Kenneth McDowell, 17, both of La Puente, California, were found Sunday in their sleeping bags at Lost Lake in Cajon Pass. An autopsy showed both men died of shotgun wounds to the head. Nearby, sheriff investigators found the body of Kenneth Glass, 33, of Ontario, California, in the cab of a pickup truck submerged 14 feet in water. Okay. This is 1986, guys. Most of the trucks, not all that big. I think a lot of them back then were manual, stick shift, and some automatics also. But it just seems a little odd. Why would somebody who does not know these campers, okay, come up here, basically execute both of them, sit in the cab of his truck, shoot himself, and then drive into this lake where it's later found submerged with his body in the truck? Okay, they also make a note that the shotgun, the weapon, was found in the cab of the truck. Okay, it just sounds very, very odd to me. Why would somebody do that? Okay, apparently did not know these 2 young fellows at all. Okay, this is an extremely remote lake. Not a lot of people come up here. You can hear some trains in the distance. That's about it. It's a pretty cool area. But if you're, just imagine you're up here camping You're up here sleeping. And I'm just walking over to this area because this looks like it would be the most likely of a camp spot right here, in my opinion, with the trees and everything else, you know. Give it, you know, even though it's over 25 years ago, it's probably about the same, you know. This is the only real access point to this lake. You can't really get to the other side. But imagine you're camping out here, and this guy pulls up. He would have had to driven up into this area, obviously, if his truck is found in the water. Gets out, comes over. I guess they're still asleep, and shoots both of them. It would have had to have been rapid succession, because the second guy would have heard, you know, obviously would have woke up after the first shot, I would think. What's the motive? What's the reasoning? If this guy's found dead too, obviously it's not a robbery, nothing like that. Did he follow these guys up here? Did he know they were going to be here for sure, or is it just, did he just come up here and looking for random victims, or could he be a victim himself? Okay, now you think a shotgun length is approximately 26 to 28 inches long. Okay, you sit in the cab of a truck, I don't care if it's a full size, a small pickup, a large pickup, whatever it is, you don't have a lot of room when you're sitting in the cab of your truck in front of you, maybe 12 inches or whatever it is. So you have to think, if you're sitting in this truck, did you turn sideways? Maybe I'm thinking maybe towards the passenger side, have the barrel, the whole weapon sticking out to the passenger side, and then he fires the weapon, and then his truck rolls into the lake here. Okay, I don't think he would have had his weapon to the left or the driver's side, because he would have had to have the shotgun sticking right out the window. Okay, now any of you guys know anything about weapons, you fire a shotgun, what's going to happen? That recoil, it's going to push back. So if it was sticking out the driver's side window, he's leaning to his left, and he fires that weapon's going to fly out right out the window onto the ground right here. Okay, there'd be no way that weapon would be found within the truck. Okay, there's also no mention, you have to think, all these projectiles, ballistic evidence, what's the angling of some of those projectiles? I'm assuming some of them might have gone all the way through him and into the seat behind him. What angling is that? Did some of those rounds go up through the top of the roof, the top of the cab of the truck? There's no mention of any of that, as I'm sure they just keep it under wraps. But it just makes me wonder, you know, how could you pull that off, really? Why would you want to do that? Come back over and get in your truck, put it in either neutral or drive, shoot yourself after you just shot these two random people, and then drive into this lake. It just makes no sense. It makes me wonder, was he sitting here in his truck and somebody else perpetrated this act? Shot the two campers, came over, shot him while he's sitting in his truck, put the truck in neutral, and shove his truck right into the lake, and they get away scot-free. Okay, I'm not saying homicide bureaus are rushing sometimes, but I wonder sometimes if on some of these cases, if there's not a rush to just solve the case. Okay, that's why oftentimes there's multiple detectives on cases, because two guys might say, yeah, you know what, this is what I think happened, and that third guy says, well, hold on, let's not rush, let's think outside the box here. Does it really make sense? Let's look at our evidence a little more closely. Does our ballistic evidence really make sense of what's going on here? So I just wonder, could there have been a third person that shot this individual, puts the truck right in neutral, it coasts right down into the water? Because why would you get in your truck and try and struggle to shoot yourself in the truck like that and everything, and then hope that, you know, your foot doesn't stay on the brake or something and your truck doesn't even roll into the water? Why would you go through all that effort? to do that? It just makes no sense. What is your motive? What is the reasoning? Okay? I think it's far more likely a truck would be going into this water if it's a third shooter.
Hey guys, Nitro here, coming to you from the Nitro compound.
I wanted to throw in a little bit more information on that video I did earlier. I had actually forgot that I had found a little bit more information on this, and I just thought it was another fascinating aspect of this shotgun murder that happened up there. It says a 20-year-old man whom investigators did not identify was also camping with the two victims when the shooting occurred. He was sleeping in a separate truck 10 feet away from where this occurred. Yet he told investigators he did not hear any shots and did not know of the truck going into the water with the other guy in it or anything until he woke up in the morning and he found his friends. Now, you tell me, does that sounds a little... Does that make this case even weirder or what? I think so. Give me your opinions on this, guys.